Imagine making a trip to your local grocery store. So on a Sunday early afternoon, let's say around 2 o'clock p.m., the next day is one of many barbecue holidays, so it's difficult for me to remember exactly which one. The parking lot is full of cars, and you naturally assume the store is full of people picking up last minute items they may have forgotten to pick up at the beginning of the week. Well, in all actuality, you probably wouldn't make any assumptions because, after all, you're just making a quick run to a store you probably have patronized hundreds of times. I'm really asking you to imagine this so you are able to understand just how astonishing it was for me when I went into my local Kroger grocery store expecting really nothing. I just wanted to get a money order and a couple of other things. I pull into the parking lot playing Kirk Franklin's Melodies from Heaven. Me and my grandsons were singing along to the music. It was a good day. It was sunny outside. No complaints. Kroger parking lot was super full, so we ended up parking towards the end. So we had a nice little walk ahead of us, being as though if it wasn't a holiday the following day, would have parked towards the middle, or if we got lucky, maybe even directly up front. Anyway, I put my grandsons in the cart, and we began to walk towards the entrance. My oldest grandson, Noah, says out of nowhere, "It's a glitch, Danny." I'm like, "Yeah, King, all right, a glitch." And I'm kind of laughing about it. And then he says, "Yeah, like my eye," and starts twitching his right eye. And that was kind of strange. And as he's doing this old lady, she slowly turns and just looks at him. She's not showing any emotion on her face at all, but she isn't threatening. This is where things got really real. Finally, we make it through the entrance. We're passing the cart corral. There are absolutely no people, no customers either returning or retrieving carts. I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's odd, but I didn't dwell on it. I proceed to go into the actual store. The first thing I noticed is that Starbucks was empty. It was completely empty. No barista, no customers. That's when I became overwhelmed by this weird feeling and began to have a huge realization. The store seemed to be empty and eerily silent. So silent that I could have actually heard a pin drop. There was no beeping of cash registers, shuffling of bags, or people talking. There were no children crying. It was dead silent. Hence the title, Grocery Store Glitch. At this juncture, I said aloud, but to myself and grandsons, "Where is everybody? Why is it so quiet?" It was like my brain couldn't seem to comprehend what I was seeing. Surely I just entered the Twilight Zone or something close to it. At self-checkout stood two old ladies. They were facing opposite monitors. They looked like the same person, same height, same build. They were both Caucasian, older ladies with white hair. They were wearing COVID masks. They weren't ringing anything out. They weren't doing anything at all, but standing and staring at the monitors. At the end of the full service register was a young man. He was obviously a bagger because he was in uniform, and he kept putting his hand in and out of the shopping bag, the brown bag, very rote, as if he was bagging groceries, but there was nothing coming down the conveyor belt, nothing in his hands. There was absolutely nothing. I'm looking around in disbelief at this point, and I slowly approached the customer service desk. There was a lady in front of me with an extremely long braid going down her back. She turns and smiles at me. I smile back, and then she begins to head towards the exit. So now it's my turn in line. And the clerk says to me in a very sing-songy, upbeat type of voice, "Hello, how can I help you?" It was the strangest tone. It reminded me of like the Truman Show with Jim Carrey. It just seemed staged and somewhat artificial. I asked for my $78 money order, and as he was completing the transaction, I noticed that the same lady who passed us outside was now behind us in the line. I glared at her and I could quickly retrieve my money order and headed towards the produce department. So we arrive in the produce department. We're looking around at some melons and different things. And I noticed that the old lady from outside and the one that was behind us in the line is now standing in front of my grocery cart. This was the first time that I considered that she may be following us. My grandson, he is throwing his Hot Wheel outside of the cart, and the old lady, she picks it up and hands it back to him. He had to throw it out of the cart maybe 3 or 4 times, and every time she picked it up and she handed it back to him with this little odd grin on her face. It really began to creep me out, like seriously creep me out. So I took the car and I put it into my purse, and me and the boys continued shopping. So we're still in the same department, and we're headed towards the salad dressings, you know, the ones they usually keep in the refrigerator, not in the aisle. And there's a small group of young ladies congregating. It was maybe 4 or 5 of them talking amongst themselves. I'm standing directly next to them. I know they're talking, but I can't hear or make out what they're saying. One of the young ladies walked directly in front of me while I'm looking at the different salad dressings and bent her entire butt like directly into my face. I was slightly appalled because I was looking at salad dressing and here she comes with the entire full moon. I was quite surprised at my own reaction because I didn't say anything. Normally, I probably would have went off or, at least had something to say. But I just had an urge to get out of there as quickly as possible. So I quickly chose the green goddess and moved along. I'm still processing everything that just took place. And lo and behold, guys, when I get to the meat department, guess who's there? The old lady. And she's closer than she ever has been to me and the kids. And it's almost as if she's sniffing me. I even asked the boys, is this lady sniffing me? It just got way too strange. I don't know what her attraction was to me and the kids, but there's definitely was some type of weird attraction going on. At this point, I start picking up the pace because it's time to go. Let's grab the juice and head out. I get to the juice aisle and my grandson begins to cut up. He's mad because I have his car in my purse. So I threaten him. I let him know we're going to put back the juice. We're going to put back the watermelon. And you're not going to get anything because I don't like the way you're behaving. There's a small group of people standing there watching me discipline my grandson. And the lady says, I can respect that. In this like comical Big Shirley voice. I don't know if you ever heard of Shirley on What's Happening, but that's who she reminded me of, the tone that she used. And it was just too weird. And then there were like this other couple of old people standing there just kind of watching, shaking their head, well, nodding their heads. So I don't know. I headed to the exit ASAP. And let me tell y'all, about time I rounded back around to the register, why was the store full of people again? It was full of people as if it was a normal day. That's what I expected it to look like in the first place. But I checked out, y'all, and I got out. And I didn't go back to Kroger's for about 2 weeks after that. And so far, no other occurrences have happened since I've been going back. But, yeah, true story.